Relax and let tonight's peaceful tale carry you to sleep. Flower and Dancing Fairy Euphorbia, a tale of courage. This story is about Flower, a compassionate girl who, with the help of a fairy named Euphorbia, discovers courage while saving her village from encroaching darkness. Once upon a time, in a village surrounded by vast fields of blooming flowers, there lived a young girl named Flower. She was known for her vibrant spirit and compassionate heart, always giving more than she took from the world. Flower loved to wander through the fields, where the colorful petals danced in the wind like joyous confetti celebrating the beauty of life. One evening, as she strolled through her favorite meadow, a sudden gust of wind blew an unusual silence upon the land, surrounding Flower in a cocoon of stillness. It was then she heard a delicate whisper, like the tinkling of silver bells. Appearing before her eyes, suspended in the air, was a dancing fairy named Euphorbia, whose grace would rival the most magnificent swan. Euphorbia had wings that shimmered with iridescent hues, reflecting like miniature rainbows, and twinkling eyes that held centuries of wisdom. Flower could hardly believe her eyes, but her heart felt an immediate connection to the fairy, who seemed both incredibly powerful yet gentle. Euphorbia spoke with a voice woven from silk and stardust, telling Flower about a cloud of darkness slowly encroaching upon the flower fields. This darkness threatened to wane the light and happiness that blossomed throughout the village. Although frightened by the shadow that loomed ahead, Flower knew that courage was more than feeling brave. It was facing fear to protect the joy of others. Euphorbia, sensing Flower's determination, offered her the chance to stand against the growing gloom. To do this, Flower needed to dance with Fairy to create a vortex strong enough to dispel the darkness. The thought of dancing with a fairy frightened Flower, as she was unsure if her steps would match the fairy's graceful movements. Yet with Euphorbia's encouragement, Flower agreed to try. Under a twilight sky adorned with stars like jewel-pinned velvet, they began their dance. Flower and Euphorbia twirled and spun, creating a crescendo of colors and warmth. Flower's heart thumped like thunder, yet her spirit soared with every step. Together, their dance painted the fields with an essence of hope, was spinning faster until the darkness began to tremble and retreat. The village felt a breeze of renewal, restoring the fields to their former glory. Flower had found courage in her heart, and the villagers rejoiced in the vibrant landscape that was saved. With a grateful heart, Flower said her goodbyes to Euphorbia, who returned to the realm of fairies, leaving behind a promise that if ever faced with darkness, courage and kindness would always reveal the light. Flower knew her life was forever changed by the dance she shared with Euphorbia. A dance of bravery and hope, echoing in her soul, like an eternal boom. Here lies the new story to soothe your spirit. Courage and Tulip, the gifts of responsibility. This story is about Courage and Tulip, who demonstrate the importance of responsible filling and safeguarding their forest during a severe drought. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush emerald forest, there lived a gentle human named Courage, who adored spending his days in the company of nature. Among the tall oaks and whispering pines was his cottage, adorned with blooming flowers and trailing vines. Nearby, in the highest branches of a grand old elm tree, lived Tulip, a kind-hearted treetop elf renowned for her music that could lift the spirits of anyone who passed under her abode. Rage was known for his diligent care of the forest animals, from ensuring the fledglings had safe nests to making sure the squirrels had enough acorns. Tulip, with her enchanting heart, was dedicated to nurturing the flora, encouraging blooms to open, and teaching ferns to sway with the gentle breezes. They had a wonderful friendship, often sharing tales and laughter under the moonlit sky. One day, the forest guardians came with a solemn request. A severe season change was upon them, and the community needed all hands to prepare for the drought that threatened their home. Porridge and Tulip knew they had to play their roles in this crucial task. Rage rose with the dawn, setting out to document the water sources in the area and ensuring they were clear of debris to maximize the conservation efforts. He drew maps and planned routes to distribute the resources more equitably among the creatures who roamed the woods. His heart filled with a quiet determination to protect the place he loved so dearly. Meanwhile, Tulip took on the task of preparing the plants, singing to them in harmonies that awakened resilience within their roots. She guided the elves in weaving protective charms around the most vulnerable groves, securing honeydew droplets to sustain them during the harsh days to come. As the days passed, both Porridge and Tulip felt the weight of their responsibilities, but also the warmth of their growing bond with the forest and each other. Their shared mission gave them purpose, and they found joy in watching the land thrive despite the challenges. Finally, the day of change arrived. The forest responded to their efforts with leaves that shimmer like emeralds and flowers that stretch towards the sky with renewed vigor. The animals bustled with energy, secure in the knowledge that Porridge and Tulip had done all they could to make their home safe and vibrant. Their forest was more than just a collection of trees. It was a living, breathing entity bound by love and responsibility. As the sun set, Porridge and Tulip sat together beneath the great elm, listening to the rustle of the leaves and the distant melody of the river. Their friendship had deepened through shared toil, and the stars above bore witness to the resilience that woven through every inch of their beloved home. "We did well," Tulip murmured, her eyes reflecting the moonlight. Porridge nodded, a smile playing on his lips. "Together, we can do anything," and so, they dreamt of future days knowing that with care and responsibility any season could be conquered. Let's continue with another peaceful journey. Dan and Avalotha, a tale of kindness. This story is about the friendship between a gardener named Dan and a crow named Avalotha, illustrating how small acts of kindness can blossom into a harvest of compassion. In a quaint village nestled between verdant hills and shimmering streams, there lived a humble gardener named Dan. His days were spent nurturing his lush gardens, surrounded by vibrant blooms that danced gracefully in the wind. Dan was known not just for his green thumb, but for his kind heart that matched his vibrant flowers. One misty morning while tending to his garden, Dan noticed the crow with glossy black feathers perched atop a sunflower, its eyes as bright as emeralds. He named the crow Avalotha, for they shared an unspoken bond. Dan always left grains and a shallow bowl of water for Avalotha, who gradually began to trust the gentle gardener. Their friendship blossomed under the canopy of the azure sky. Avalotha brought Dan shiny trinkets and seeds from distant lands, gifts that filled Dan's heart with joy. One chilly autumn afternoon, a storm brewed, shaking the trees violently. Dan hurriedly sought shelter, but Avalotha was nowhere to be seen. Worry gnawed at him until the crow returned, drenched but carrying a small, delicate wildflower in her beak as a peace offering. Touched by the crow's gesture, Dan tenderly planted the flower in his garden, knowing it was a token of their unbreakable friendship. As seasons changed, Dandy's garden became a sanctuary for many creatures, a testament to his kindness. Avalotha saw her flying over the colorful garden, with the wildflower flourishing under Dandy's care. Dan's neighbors began to notice the harmony within his garden, inspired to extend similar kindness to others. Through Dan and Avalotha's bond, the village learned that small acts of kindness could ripple into a harvest of generosity and compassion. In the stillness of the night, Dan shared stories with Akalafa under the twinkling stars, a scene that painted the village with love and warmth. The stories of a crow and a gardener were retold by villagers round cozy fireside evenings, a legend of kindness that stitched hearts together. A new story begins to guide you closer to sleep. Lobelia and Silver Bell, a journey of wonder. This story is about the wondrous journey shared by Lobelia and Silver Bell as they discover the magic hidden within the ordinary world around them. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled amidst the rolling hills and fragrant gardens, there lived a girl named Lobelia. Her eyes sparkled like the starlit sky and her laughter was as melodious as the morning song of the robins. Lobelia was known for her boundless curiosity and a heart as vast as the ocean. One day, while exploring the edge of the forest, she stumbled upon Silver Bell, a bear with a coat shimmering like silver moonlight upon the tranquil waters of a hidden lake. Silver Bell was not an ordinary bear. He carried in his heart a secret that made him wonder-filled and wise beyond his age. As they gazed into each other's eyes, an unspoken bond formed between them, a connection as magical as the twinkling constellations above. "Hello, Lobelia," Silver Bell greeted, with a voice that resonated like the gentle hum of nature itself. "Hello, Silver Bell," replied Lobelia, her curiosity unfurling like the petals of a newly bloomed flower. "Would you join me for a walk through the wonders of this world?" Silver Bell invited, his voice imbued with an ancient wisdom. Together, they wandered through the meadows, where wildflowers danced in the breeze and butterfly. They traversed the whispering woods, where each leaf held stories of times long gone, and each branch cradled the dreams of the wind. As they strolled, Silver Bell shared tales of how the stars themselves came to sparkle in the night, and how the sun kissed the earth each dawn, bringing warmth and light to every creature that dwelled below. Lobelia listened intently, her mind opened wide like a book yearning to be filled with passages of wonder. The world transformed before her eyes. What once seemed ordinary was now spectacular, vibrant, and alive with enchantment. "How do you know so much, Silver Bell?" Lobelia asked, her voice filled with awe. "I listen to the world, dear Lobelia," Silver Bell replied, with a gentle, knowing smile. "For every whisper and every heartbeat is a story waiting to be discovered." As the sun set behind the hills, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Lobelia and Silver Bell found themselves at the edge of a crystal-clear stream. They sat together, feeling the cool breeze that carried the essence of wonder itself. In the distance, the first stars began to twinkle, each one a beacon of dreams and stories yet to unfold. In that tranquil moment, Lobelia understood the true meaning of wonder. It lay beneath the surface of the everyday, waiting patiently for those with the heart to seek and the soul to listen. "Thank you, Silver Bell," Lobelia whispered, her heart brimming with gratitude. "You've shown me that wonder is everywhere, if we dare to look." Silver Bell smiled, the kind of smile that spoke of journeys shared and wisdom gained. "The world is a wondrous place, Lobelia," he said softly. "That you always wonder and keep your heart open to the treasures that lie within." With that, they watched as the night enveloped the earth, wrapping it in its stars, and with the gentle lull of the stream and the embrace of the starlit sky, Lobelia and Silver Bell fell asleep under the vast canopy of dreams, their souls resting in the warm cradle of wonder itself. Good night. May you find comfort in your dreams.